alternative leadership is not concerned about replacement of faces. It's not concerned about swapping of faces because those are just cosmetics. We have seen people coming, they're the same. You heard Lee Njiru saying that these are political cousins who are just taking care of their own interest, but they pretend they're having a war. So what we're trying to say, well, they know what we want. We told them what we want, but one, they have not done. Two, they are not doing. Three, they are not capable of doing. Four, they don't have a team capable of doing. Five, they are not gonna do it. Fifth, they will not do it. And they will never do it. They are too corrupt to do it. And therefore we are saying we will not spend the time telling them what they want to do. Now we want to take leadership and now do.
Hello guys, and welcome to Manifesto Watch podcast. Today we are sitting with the Manifesto Watch patron, and he is also, among the other hats that he wears, he is also the leader of a movement called Alternative Leadership, which is a youth-led movement that is aiming to save Kenya come 2027. So I would like to welcome Professor Fred Ogola to give us a synopsis of what this movement is all about and how it's going to help save the country. Karibu, Prof.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Jerry. I'm sure why we came up with alternative leadership is that we have seen so many things, what's called replacement, where we've had the first president of Kenya who replaced colonial masters, and the main call was to cure the issue of ignorance, disease, and poverty.
Yes.
And he also left office without doing that. Of course, he did what he could do. Achievements not disqualified. We came with the second president of Kenya, Moi. We said, yote yawezekana bila Moi. We clamored for change. They sang the unbogable. Then I was also surprised during the Gen Z revolution, we sang the unbogable on the street, which means that there's still something trying to boggle us.
Yes.
So again, we brought in Kibaki. He tried to do what he could do economically, but corruption was still very high. Tribalism was never dispelled of. So then we brought now Uhuru Kenyatta, who was supposed to further the Kibaki's legacy. But we saw now the issue of few people owning Kenya, and the rest of us are just watching. Because we realize that 99% of the Kenyan GDP sits with 1% of Kenyans. So that is a serious thing. Kenyans are just working for them. Actually, we are just working on their vineyard. So because of that, we are not interested in replacement. Then now Ruto came and told us that he was now the one who is called the hustler and went to form the hustler government. And we realized that Ruto has the most expensive cabinet in the history of Kenya, because his cabinet is worth more than 28 billion shillings, their net worth. Yet Uhuru's cabinet was something between, something around 2.8 billion. And Kibaki's cabinet were not billionaires. There was no billionaire in the cabinet. And of course, you can now take that and going down. So it means that this is just alternative leadership is not concerned about replacement of faces. It's not concerned about swapping of faces because those are just cosmetics. We have seen people coming, they're the same. You heard Lee Njiru saying that these are political cousins who are just taking care of their own interest, but they pretend they're having a war. And then the current government now, we have now the Kenya Kwanza government, they know what we want because they say young people have no job. They say it. They say that young people are not getting the education they deserve. They say there's corruption. And then they talk about the issue of the economic challenges Kenyans are having, cost of living, housing. So they know what Kenyans want. But apart from that, even the young people went to the street and gave them the 9-point agenda, which they're supposed to do. I don't want to count it because these are things in the public domain. Yeah. They wanted actually mostly integrity. They wanted accountability in governance. And they wanted also that economy which is booming. And the economy can boom if there's no corruption. They wanted a competent government to run this country, but that has not happened. So what we're trying to say, well, they know what we want. We told them what we want, but one, they have not done. Two, they are not doing. Three, they are not capable of doing. Four, they don't have a team capable of doing. Five, they are not gonna do it. Fifth, they will not do it. And they will never do it. They are too corrupt to do it. And therefore we are saying we will not spend the time telling them what they want to do. Now we want to take leadership and now do. I remember sometimes, if, for example, Gerald, if you have a company where you have hired a CEO to run your company, and you discover that he's doing worse than you can do, so then you tell him, my brother, then get out of the way, let me take over and do. If you hire a driver and the driver cannot drive you to your destination, you tell them, now I want alternative driver. So tell the guy, you sit at the back, watch how I drive. So time has come for the young people to come up with this strategy of leading. And now when I call alternative leadership, I don't mean that we are going to change faces. I've heard people saying the sole mandate you send Ruto home. This narrative is being told by his cousins, one of them. Because Ruto is in a club, isn't it?
Yes,
and
yes.
this club is, the members of this club are known. They are shouting on top of their voices that the one's going to bring change. They are in the same club. So Ruto is one of them. And they are one of the Rutos. So we don't want to replace this leadership with one of them. We want to replace the leadership with one of us. Why one of us? We are talking about a situation whereby we have to have a new software. And software here does not mean like a operating system in a computer. This, the 9-point agenda that Gen Zs gave William Ruto that they cannot do, they want to do, now we want to do it ourselves. So it's called DIY. Do it yourself. DIY. So for us as alternative leadership is do it yourself. Because if you're waiting for someone to do it, no one will do it, if not us. We were unhappy with the finance bill. No one did it apart from us. We were able to enter parliament without their help. And in fact, they have done mandamano since independence. They have never been able to enter parliament. Exactly. So this is the revolution that now is not about entering parliament. It's about now entering what? State House. So we have knowledge. We need new knowledge to take us where we want to be. We cannot use the same knowledge they have been using. They have experience, yes, but now we want to use new knowledge. So I want the young people to occupy from top the presidency. They have to occupy the MCA. So they have to control the county assemblies. Yes. They have to control the Senate. They have to control the parliament. When I mean control means they must be the majority. We can allow a few other people to be there who are advanced in age for wisdom's sake to mix wisdom and knowledge, but we want to control the knowledge. We want more young people in parliament, in the county assembly, more than we can have the older people. We are not chasing the older people alone. In fact, what I'm trying to say is that even the executive, which means the CSS, the PSS, and the directors in government must be majority young people and at least half women. Exactly. So because I'm trying to say that because women they have been telling us lip service of addressing the gender imbalance, they'll never do. So we are going to do it for them. We shall have a formula, and I'm telling young people, we cannot be able to achieve the gender rule without a formula. We cannot be able to achieve young people being leaders of tomorrow without a formula. And there's a formula here we are trying to say. That at least half of the cabinet will be less than 45 years CSS. And there's no one who will be a PS above 45 years. That is given. And all directors, you will begin from 35 and below. Why we are saying so is that the older people can chair commissions, they can chair parastatal boards, isn't it? They can sit in those boards where we need experience, but we need knowledge now to mix together with experience to take us where we are going. We are not saying we are going to change the constitution to stop anybody from vying. We're trying to say that the appointing authority will propose people of an age that actually meets those criteria to allow us have a young government. If you go to Rwanda, the CS for ICT is below 35 years. While for us, a CS for ICT in Kenya is someone from museum. What I call museum is they were born before computer. They don't know what AI is. If you talk about machine learning, they're just wondering. Some of them don't even know what an M-Pesa wallet is. Yet they're running ICT. So we do not want to bring that on board. So we want to ensure that's happening. Now, how will we do this? Because, of course, people ask these questions. We know they have some strength. One, they have networks we don't have. But our network is that we are more connected in TikTok. We are not connected on Space, on Twitter, on social media. We have WhatsApp group of young people, which we have built in all counties. So we will get our network faster and quicker. We are more connected than them, so we'll beat them on that. Secondly, they have more money. But we are going to say that to get us there is that we have the numbers. We have the tyranny of numbers. In fact, they have been riding on a tyranny of numbers to get what they want.
Yeah.
So this time we want to be organized in our numbers, organized in our network, so that we are more organized than them, we shall disrupt them. Because for us to enter parliament, we are certainly more organized than the security forces, more organized than these elderly people, isn't it?
Yes.
We demonstrated using our phone. We are going to have our own softwares that we are going to use to make this election work. In fact, I'm telling you, campaigns will be cheaper because we're going to use social media and digital platforms. And we shall ensure that we have our own secrets in this digital platform to make it work. So the rallying call is this. Kula kwa mzee, because wazee watatoa pesa, kura kwa kijana. Kula kwa mzee, kura kwa kijana.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I wish you all the best. We are all together in this journey because the country is really in a bad place. We need people who are going to deliver.
Thank you.
Ndio.